One Piece chapter 1159 is here and it's amazing. Oh my goodness, I loved this chapter. It was jam-packed with so much, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Also, my voice is kind of in and out, so sorry. First of all, Shaki was in fact kidnapped, which Oda set up perfect, you know, we're not surprised. She was in fact kidnapped. She is a part of the God Valley incident, a much more, thankfully, and I had hoped this to be true, Oda did more than just, pretty lady? Now war? Yes, excellent. I've orchestrated this perfectly by doing one thing. No, there's a lot that went into the God Valley incident, and Shaki is one element of it. So Shaki was kidnapped. Whoever it was that came in and kidnapped her must have been an incredible force, because not only Don Marlin is down, but the entire security team that he was working with have all been taken out. It's unthinkable! Not so much in a flashback, but then, yes, I know! One would think that this security detail would be enough, but no, whoever came in and took care of, anyway, so, Rox is furious, he's upset, obviously Shaki had a very important role on the island, they really valued her presence there, but there's more to Rox choosing to enter this fight. This line just gets me. The crime happened within a window of just a few hours, but without any clues to solve the mystery. That line right there. But without any clues to solve the mystery. Right above, what's his face? I don't remember his name. The guy with the tongue. The one that looks too much like a swamp for my comfort. He's counting his bills. He's the only one not weeping and crying and angry and upset. Oh no, no clues whatsoever. Oda drops the clue right there. We all know exactly what happened. What a scumbag! Shocker. Someone who might be related to a swamp is also scummy. Who should be surprised? I didn't like him from the moment I saw him, and I was right. Snap judgments are always correct. Anyway, Gloriosa also devastated about this, wailing and gnashing their teeth in anger. We've got Garp losing his mind over it all. Boy, okay, so we're on God Valley. We still don't actually see her, but we're on God Valley. Shanks and Shamrock's mom, thrilled to see Garling. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. I always believed you would come back. So I assume that means that Garling was there. He wooed her. She's been waiting for his return. And then he just disappeared. I don't even know that he stuck around long enough to find out that she was pregnant, because she's telling him, I mean, his response, what he says to her is, you had twins? They're adorable. You know, like, he's just like, oh, wow, kids, look at that. Which could mean that he knew she was pregnant, but he's just surprised that there's twins because he wasn't there at the birth. But the way she's talking, she's like, I always believed you would come back. Boys, look, it's your father. And then she's telling him, they're yours. These are your kids. So I really just don't think he stuck around long. I think he showed up, found his lady, and then he left. I really don't think he made a lot of promises. I could be wrong, but it kind of comes off like she's just like, man, I really hope this guy is gonna come back around and we can have a future together. And he's just not been around, and now he shows up to start the God Valley incident, to start the rabbit hunting. But it is really sad that she's like, these are your kids. These are your boys. Now we can live together forever. And his response to her is, oh, if they're living anywhere, that's a big if. That's not really the word that you want at the beginning of that sentence. If they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island will cease to exist soon. Like, just the bluntness and harshness of just matter-of-factly just being, like, he has no guilt. He has no opinions, or he has no feelings about what he's about to do on this, which we know he wouldn't. We know that he revels in the games that they're about to play. But still, just to see him look her in the eyes, smile on his face, these are your children here, and he's like, yeah, if they survive, it won't be here. It's about to be leveled. Also, it won't be with you. I've already special ordered a wife who is befitting of me. You know, just around every front, every line he says, every little piece of what he's orchestrated and the way he views the people around him, the way he views Shaki that is worthy of him. And so he's like, I'm gonna win her, and she's gonna be mine, my possession. These children, whether they live or die, it certainly won't be here. This woman who bore my children and now stands before me, I'll look her in the eyes and say, no, I'm about to commit atrocities so that I can win another woman. I'm done with you. Oh, that page turn. Oh, that page turn. When we're having this conversation, you're horrified, you're disgusted by him, and then you turn the page, and he's just killed her. Done. No thought, no care, just, you can't be around. I mean, he's gonna do it to so many others. Why not? I suppose, from his perspective. Just like really sobering stuff. So then he issues the orders on the snail phone. Come on. Like, let's clear the island. Let's capture everyone. Let's set up for the games. And the troops roll out. We have close-ups of the people in horror and agony protecting their children. I mean, it's terrible. I absolutely loved seeing Dragon in this flashback. Seeing him as a Navy sailor, knowing what he's going to be eventually. And, you know, we always joke about the specific kind of inaction that Oda has just kind of been like, check in on Dragon. All right, cool. We did that thing. Now let's move on. You know, like the way he's kind of been just reminding us Dragon exists, but he's not actually doing anything with him for a while. It was really satisfying to see him as a Navy sailor at this incident, or at this horrifying situation, really just looking very disturbed and upset at it all. You know, like sweat coming down his face. He looks shocked at what he and his men are being made to do here, as one would hope he would be. He's even trying to convince himself this is fine. They're just tranquilizer shots. I'm not hurting anyone. Like, surely, in my mind, the subtext here is, surely the people that I'm following, there's a reason behind this. Surely this isn't as horrible as it feels to me right now, as it appears all around me. It's really satisfying to see him in this state, knowing what he'll eventually be, and knowing that there is kind of a shaking, a reckoning, and a worldview altering that's coming for his character, and I hope we get to see some of it. But regardless, as much fun as it is to kind of chuckle at the role that he's been playing lately in the current timeline, also, it's clear Oda has big plans for him. We get a glimpse of Ginny and Eva and Kuma, sweet Kuma. Look at just the way he sits there just in this horrible situation, you know, and Ginny too. They're both, just have my heart. And then Morgan's is the reason everyone came here. Morgan's is the reason there actually was an upset in this incident, and it didn't just go off, probably completely unreported, most likely. If they're doing this every 3 years, it doesn't seem like the rest of the world is aware that they're doing this, so probably would have gone unreported, but instead, there was friction at this incident, and instead, or more rightly, this massacre, and instead it was reported on, and it's all Morgan's! It's just Morgan's, this child, this kid. How does some kid's local paper with a fancy name get an intel network like that? Anyway, already he is conniving. He's willing to manipulate, do whatever it takes for the story. He's got his intel network. Like, already he is exactly who we know him to be in present timeline. And it is because of his reporting. It just took the tiniest bit of classified intel to set off all the fiercest warriors of the sea. It's because of Morgan's! Ugh, the one guy that I don't like, that I haven't bothered to learn the name of. Look at him! You know, when they're all, oh, Shaki's still alive, we can do something about this, and he's over here like, it seems fishy, I don't know about that source, let's not. How about we not? I need him to be shoved into the ocean. Oh yeah, I did say that it seems like the rest of the world doesn't know that these things are happening every 3 years. But Whitebeard here even says, like, I thought that was just a tall tale. Like, if there is any sort of rumbling about it, it seems to be just, maybe this is a rumor, maybe they do this thing, but it's just not something that is known, it seems. We have Kaido thinking about the kind of devil fruits that are there. Big Mom thinking about, like, how can she make use of it all? Which, by the way, Big Mom in this flashback has seemed very normal. You know, she doesn't seem like her crazed wedding cake. She's in the Whole Cake Island arc. She has a really different personality than she does here. So I always thought that she kind of snapped mentally when she was a child in the flashback that we saw, but she doesn't seem to have done here. So I'm actually really curious to see if we're going to see her snap at the Gata Valley incident whenever she sees whatever it is that happens to Rox. I don't know. I could be way off about that. But anyway, Rox is going, his crew is going, Roger and his crew are going. We even have Rayleigh that's like, yes, we are absolutely going. It really breaks my heart to see Harold confronting Rox here and telling him, I I can sink your ship if that's what it takes. I'm under orders, I'm under government orders to stop you. It hurts because I'm so invested in their friendship. I don't want to see it have come to this. And even now, Rox is willing to have a discussion with him. Let's talk in private. Let's drink together. Let's try one more time to connect person to person and work this out. Rox even explains to him that Rox isn't even the correct name, that he's Davy D. Zebek, which, oh my goodness, he's a descendant of Davy D. Jones. No wonder he honors the Davy back fight in the way that he collects his crew. Regardless, he reveals this huge secret to Harold that he's buried, he's changed his name for, and reveals to him that his own wife and kid are on that island. So man to man, brother to brother, he goes to his friend, who he's now at this point lost, and one last time sits down, has a drink with him, and just tells him, this is why I've gotta go. His wife and child are there, and he's saying, I have to help my people. Something that you would think Harold would sympathize with, because that's what Harold's do. That's why Harold turned on his friend. That's why Harold broke this friendship, broke what they did have, is because he understands, I have to take care of my people in whatever way that I think will work. He told his men, even though he told Rox, never, I'd rather sink your ship right now, he did tell his men, don't attack him. So it almost comes off to me like, I'm gonna let you go. And he is sympathetic to what Rox has told him, and he will let him go, but he's going to tell him that he won't, to provoke Rox to attack him. I wonder, I guess this is where I am. I wonder if Harold had to give the appearance of, I'm still going to stop you, to Rox, so that Rox would attack him, so that Harold could tell the Celestial Dragons, I tried to stop him. He attacked me and my ship and my men, and he got away. That way, he can still try to ally with the world government, but he can also let Rox go free and go protect his. Because at the end of the day, Rox did say, I don't really care what happens to the rest of the island. I don't really care if everybody else dies. I really only care about me and my own. And that's begrudgingly where Harold is too, where he's saying, I really just have to take care of my people. So this is just a really, more sadness is heaped upon the story that I'm so invested in, where Harold is, I think, my interpretation is, Harold is letting Rox go. He's choosing to help him make it, even though he can't stand side by side with him like what Rox really wants. Like, he's choosing not to stand side by side with him, but he will let him go, but he has to make it appear to Rox as if he's not. That way Rox will attack him. So they're still divided. Their friendship is still broken. But I do think Harold cares. I do think that he was sympathetic. Shaki is here. She's been captured. The Celestial Dragons are disgusting. You know, we have the prizes being presented. We have all these treasures. I assume, I don't know. They might not all be devil fruits. Who knows what they are? But there's a bunch of treasures. We know what 2 of them are. And then finally we have Shaki, who is the prize. Make her your wife. Make her your slave. I don't care. But she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Here, have her as your possession. Whatever you want to do with her. Just really disgust, left and right, the manhunt, the treatment of Shaki, all of it. Just horrifying. Though finding rare race of people groups and making them prizes as well, or rather making them like higher points of murder in their sick game. It's all horrifying. She was kept in pristine condition after being caught. A truly elite prize. Ugh. Okay, finally, and we saw Summers, we saw Gunko, we saw some people, but finally we have Dragon appearing on the scene of who I assume is Shanks' mom, because, she just got stabbed and we have a trail of blood and now she's like dying. And she says, please, get my children off this island. Don't let him have them. So I guess she's now realized, okay, the man that I thought I had a future with, actually, I don't want my children to be anywhere near him, so please get them off the island. And then we also see, and I don't really understand this bit, we also see Blackbeard, who's in the cage, and we have the announcement, in addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as a super rare rabbit in the contest, we also have another target who's been found at long last, after 800 years, the Davy clan, which I assume this is actually what Garling saw when he called Emu and he's like, oh, you're gonna like what I found here. I assume it was the Davyback clan because they thought that the Davyback clan was eradicated, or at least had gone into hiding, and then he found one member, he found Blackbeard, and so he's like, oh, this is gonna be great. I could be wrong about that, that's just my assumption. Anyway, so Blackbeard is here, he's been caged because he's going to be one of the special prizes. Now, this is what I think is happening here. I don't think that Blackbeard is in the same room as Shank's mom is, because the slaves were on the naval boat that we saw earlier in the chapter. They're being transported currently to be the special rabbits, to be the higher prize murder children, which makes sense because Shank's mom here in this room, she's not chained up. She doesn't have shackles on her, or at least she didn't when she was stabbed. There's no reason for me to think that she suddenly does. But the people who do have the shackles are the people that are in the slave ship, the naval slave ship, being transported to the island as we speak. So I think these are two different scenes. We have Dragon coming upon the boys, and he's going to rescue them, or at least one of them, at least Shanks. And then in a different scene, we have Blackbeard on the naval ship, and someone, looks like a woman on the naval ship, is saying, come here, it's all right, you have to live through this. Could be his mom, but it's someone else who's been enslaved, and it has nothing to do with Dragon. That's what I'm seeing. That's my thought here. The two are probably paralleled simply because both Blackbeard and Shanks were rescued. Anyway, an incredible chapter. So dense, so much happening, like so many little details just being thrown around throughout this. Really devastating stuff, like really just honing in on the worst that humanity is capable of being. But also, Rox is still the star. Every single chapter we get of him, the more sad I am that we're gonna lose him soon. Whoops, my battery died. I don't know, I thought it was plugged in the whole time I was filming. Apparently I was wrong. Anyway, big sad that Rox is going to die. Super love him. This chapter was amazing. Please chat with me more in the comments. Talk to me about the chapter. Tell me what you think. Tell me all the things that you are very overwhelmed about, please. I'll see you again soon. Bye.